Hi all, this is Kevin Stewart Bills 250. I'm Kev, and here we have stage 23 of issue 8 of Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. Okay, so stage 23, another weighty part pack this. It's got a big metal part, big part of the chassis again. So it's going to add some weight and some length to this model. We're going to get a good idea then of how big this model is actually going to be once this is fitted. But let's get into it. Let's look at the parts and let's get this built. It's stage 23. Okay, so I've got the parts laid out for stage 23. Yeah, this is obviously the metal chassis plate. It's fairly weighty, once again a weighty piece. Obviously going to add, as I said, some weight and some length. I got some fender liners, some shock absorbers. There's a problem with those. I'll go through that in a minute. And the bracket for the shock absorber. And yeah, a lot of screws, a lot of metal screws in this. So there's going to be a need for oil. So we've got you're going to be using the oil method for putting the screws in. Okay, so let's look at some of the details and some of the problems I've got with this. Okay. Because one of the first problems was a broken shock absorber. So obviously this one's okay, and this one's missing the end part of the shock absorber. So yeah, I'm going to have to order another one from Eaglemoss. The fender liners, okay, I don't know if you can see that. I was looking at it and there was obviously a left and a right one. There's an easy way to identify it. It's got an L on that one and an R on that one. So that's an easy way to identify which one's left, which one's right for those. Now for the benefit of the video, I am going to construct this, but obviously I have got a broken part. So I am going to have to obviously replace this once I get my replacement part through. It's that way around, isn't it? Yeah. So it's that way around, those two on that side, that on that side. Now these say they're exactly the same. There's no, I suppose, yeah, they are. But there is a slight angle on the, so these say they're exactly the same, but there's a slight angle on the tab. I'm not too sure whether it goes inwards or outwards. So yeah, it doesn't really tell you whether it's that way or kind of that way, whether it's pointing inwards or outwards. I'm trying to identify it from the pictures. Doesn't really show it very well. I'm going to have mine pointing outwards, I think. Yes, so they are going to be slightly angled outwards. So it doesn't tell you in the instructions which way. I've looked at the picture and that's the way that I can identify it. And simply an AP screw. Okay. So the shock absorbers are kind of fed. Stage 1 done. Okay, so now we've got to attach, it says attach the shock absorber bracket. It's that way round with the part, and the shock absorber bracket just simply fits. It's got a locating pin. Going to fit into a hole on the chassis plate. And then that simply fits in with, I'll turn it over, JP screws, 2 JP screws. So it's quite simply fitted. Now we're fitting the fender liners. So it says take the left one first, and as I identified earlier, it's got an L on it. Take the left one and fitting it. Okay, yep, turning it over. Yep, didn't see that. So we're turning it over. We're fitting the left one first into those parts there. Lay the shock absorbers down right to start with. And that's fitted in with 3DM screws. And then I'm going to be putting the right one in. Same weight, 3DM screws. And the fender liner's fitted. Okay, so bringing over the rather large and heavy body section, and we're going to be fitting the rear chassis to this part. So obviously the rear chassis, the way it shows it's going to be going on, just going to go on like that. And obviously these screw holes align with that. Rear chassis part, rear chassis on main chassis, and then just 2, 4, 6 LM screws. Now I'm going to need my boxes again because we're turning it over again. Wow, this is so long now. And heavy. I don't want to load on there. If you put it on there, you're going to be with a lot of pressure on that joint there. Just start to, I'm going to put it. And put it on the end because that's not supported by much. It's only those 6 screws that are holding it in at the moment. Where they just start to bend. And I think that's what you're kind of putting in now. You're putting in a bit of strengthening. It's getting heavy. Bringing over the chassis part. Bring up the shock absorbers. So they've got to kind of go into the in between this part. And then you've got to turn it over, but you soon turn it over, obviously that's going to move, it's going to fall out. So you're going to have to somehow hold this on whilst turning it over. Kind of holding it on, and you've also got the problem that you've now got the shock absorbers. So if you put it down there, you're going to batter those shock absorbers. So just using a box, I'm going to rest it on the box to avoid putting any pressure on the shock absorbers underneath. And that's also holding on that chassis frame. And then there's 10 cm screws going in various locations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Good engineering practice. Diametrically oppose it. So once you put one in that corner, you go to the other corner. So that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner. all in, so I'm just going to go around and tighten them all up. And that is stage 23, and it's rather large. To be honest with you, can't fit it all on the camera. At this rate, I'm going to need a bigger bench to do the build on, because it is massive. It's 12 inches, 24, about 28 inches. In real money, that's 30, 60, 72 centimetres. Large and heavy now, getting very heavy as well. So now that's got that strengthened bit on there, I'm okay to leave that on there. But be aware, you have got those shock absorbers under there, so careful with them. And even the actual quality of the die cast metals and the quality of the finish is powder coated, looks like, and it's good. Stage 23. So that's stage 23 wrap there. It's getting long and it's getting heavy now, that model. Really is giving you a good idea of how big the actual Ecto is going to be. It's going to be a lot bigger than the DeLorean. So finding somewhere to display it's going to be probably a new shelf or something. Obviously I've had the problem with that broken part. Now I've phoned Eaglemoss and they are going to send out another issue or stage. It was very confusing on the phone. This issues and stages thing is really confusing. When I phoned Eaglemoss, I said, can I have a replacement for stage 23 of issue 8 because the shock absorber's broken. And the poor lady on the phone got very confused about whether I wanted issue 8 or I wanted issue 23. And I was trying to explain to her that we really don't have kind of issues as such, as in the magazine says issue 8, but I want stage 23. So we had to go through the whole rigmarole of, well, they're still calling them issues. So if you're ordering a replacement part pack, it's issue 23. It just becomes very confusing. But anyway, I think we sorted it in the end. I'm getting a replacement for issue 23. So I should be here in a couple of weeks. I'll just replace that shock absorber. But as always with Eaglemoss, what they normally do is they send you out a complete new pack. You don't just get the part you need, you get a complete new pack. So I'll probably get it in the next subscribers pack, which should be due in the next couple of weeks. That's the other thing, actually. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but in between issue 7 or subscriber pack 7 and subscribers pack 8 or issue 7 and 8, it's only 3 weeks. I know it's supposed to be, I don't know if anybody else had that, but there was definitely only 3 weeks in between the billing cycle. It's not a major issue for me, but if you're budgeting on it coming out every 4 weeks, then that could screw you up. So yes, I don't know if that's going to be a new thing that they've gone to billing and sending these subscribers pack out every 3 weeks. I know there's some people who've gone for every 2 weeks. This build, compared to the DeLorean, which was quite simple up until the end, with all the billing cycles and when they're sending part packs out, it must be a logistical nightmare for Eaglemoss and HeroCollector. Because they've got some people on one magazine or one stage every week, and they've got other people on 2 or 3 stages every week, or 4 stages every week. I don't know how they're keeping track of it. And obviously people are getting their parts at a different time. Very confusing. But for me, hopefully it's simple. I've got 4 packs, I've got 4 stages. I've got obviously 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm going to be getting them filmed and up probably once a week. So if you'd like to see the progression of this build, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to be notified any time that a video goes live, then please remember to click the bell. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to catch you again on the channel soon. Take care, but ta-da for now.